Welcome to the Love Story Podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Green, where we are capturing the magic of every love story.
Lemon lime.
Many mumbling mice.
Are making merry music in the moon. The articulation begins in the back of the teeth and the tip of the tongue. I think I'm ready.
Don't be ridiculous. My rash still hurts.
Edit that out.
Abby makes us look and sound our best. Luckily, you can't see my rash. So, I don't know how to do this on the Love Couch from this side of things.
Are we...
Hey, welcome to the Love Story Podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Green.
Thanks.
And you are?
Jesse Formanek.
Would you please say and spell your last name for the camera?
Formanek. Formanek.
Okay.
You want my social security?
Yep.
No.
Okay. This is our love story.
Okay.
Act like you're excited.
I am excited. I just don't know what to do.
I know. I don't know what to do with my hands or my face. You could look at me because we're having a conversation. Would it be easier for you if I sat over there?
Do I have to move the camera or the microphone?
No, you can look at me.
Like this? So I do have to move the camera.
Okay. There you go.
Wouldn't it be easier to have eye contact if you were sitting over there?
Would you like me to sit over there?
Well, I want you to sit by me, but I also want you to be able to look at you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You know what? You slide over here. I'll slide over there.
Get away from me.
Okay.
If those things start to stink, I'm out.
They won't.
Or you're out, I should say.
This is my show. You're out. Do you want to put your feet up on me?
No, not at all.
Okay.
These are brand new shoes.
They're very nice shoes.
I like them.
Okay. So, why are you here today?
Because I'm in love with Ashley Green.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Do you want to just start listing off all of the things that you love about me, or do you want...
No, we don't have enough time.
Oh. Stop it. How did we meet? Do you remember how we met?
Your sister, Alyssa...
Yes.
Said I used to work with her at a call center at Aria, and
this was like 14 years ago.
Yeah, and she said that I think you should go out on a date with my sister.
When she said that to you, what was your first reaction? Because my first reaction when she said, "Can I hook you up with someone?" was absolutely not.
Wow.
Knowing her.
I'm kidding. No, my first reaction was, "Let me see a picture."
And then what? And then you were like...
And then I saw a picture and I was like, of course.
My heart just broke a little bit.
I'm sorry, I was just kidding. No, it was, let me see a picture. And then I was like, sure.
Oh.
Sure.
Yeah, she said, I've got a guy I want to hook you up with. And I was like, no. He has to have all of his teeth and fingernails that are shorter than, like, I need his fingernails to go to the bed of his nail. I can't have, Yeah,
I have those requirements.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you met the most minimum of a requirement for me to look at the picture of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did creep on you. I don't remember. That was a long time ago. So we met because of Lisi, and you worked at the call center because you've been the man of many jobs over the course of your life and time, the life and times of old Jess. How did we reach out? Did we reach out on social media or did we reach out in text?
I don't remember.
I don't remember
either. I think
either.
it was text.
She probably...
Because I remember you texting me and telling me not to shake your hand when I first meet you.
Yeah.
And then I shook your hand when I first met you.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yes.
Yeah, when we went to RIP Old Capitol.
I can smell your shoes.
God damn it. Fine. Okay, I'll put my feet down. We met at Old Capitol.
Just wash your feet.
I do wash my feet. It's just not everybody can have brand new Globe sneakers.
Yeah, true that, brother. True that.
I need closure on why he wasn't allowed to shake your hand.
Because what an awkward thing to do.
So do I.
What an awkward thing to do when you walk up on a first date and you come in for a handshake. What are you supposed to do?
Make out with him?
No, wave. Hi. Hi.
Hey.
No.
Hey, babe.
No, you walk up and you say, hey, and then you open the door to the establishment. What a weird handshake, you know?
Well, it worked. Didn't it?
Yeah.
Got you laughing right away?
Yes. And then we went into Old Capitol where we were going to order frog legs and we saw the prices on the menu because we were broke.
It was expensive.
Early to mid 20s somethings. I think we sat there both because you paid probably.
We didn't eat it.
No, we didn't eat there, but when we did go.
Yeah, I paid. Yeah.
Yes. So we sat there and you were like.
You can put your feet up.
No,
there,
I refuse to make you uncomfortable. So.
You look so uncomfortable.
Oh, no, don't worry about me. Yeah, we went to we were sitting there at Old Capitol, and you, like, I remember sitting across from you, and I'm so, like, first dates are so awkward, and...
I think ours was.
No, ours was not awkward.
I thought ours was not awkward at all.
It was not awkward at all, but it was very, like, for you to be able to sit there and say, like, can we go somewhere else? This is expensive. I don't remember exactly how you said it.
It was ridiculously expensive.
It was.
For frog legs?
Yeah. Well, I usually get my frog legs for way cheaper than that.
Yeah, me too. I usually just get them out in the wild.
Yeah. That all organic, all natural frog legs.
That's right.
Should we reschedule?
I get
Is today not a good day to talk about how much you love me?
It's always a good day, baby.
We left Old Capitol. I think we just got up and pieced out of there, and we walked over to Jimmy's Poorhouse in Sauk Rapids. Mm-hmm. And God, that first date was the most fun I had ever had with a stranger.
Enough about you. What do we get into on this show?
Well, typically when I am the host, I ask, how did you guys meet?
Yeah.
Which is what we are currently into.
I got that.
And then we work through the, like, and then what happened? And then we work into, maybe some trials and tribulations. And then we go into, like, how you got married, if they're a married couple, who proposed, who said I love you first, all of the fun stuff. And then we transition into, and then what's the rest of your life look like? What are you hoping for? So.
Okay.
Thank you. Now that you've read the table of contents, do you want to continue reading this
book? The only pod I've ever had is a Tide pod.
Stop it.
The only time I ever cast is with a fishing pole.
I hate you so much for ruining my show right now.
Why would you say that? Delete that too. Jeepers.
You're ruining my show.
Just loosening up. You know what I mean? Just getting things rolling.
Okay, perfect.
So what's the question?
Well, we were still going in through how we met each other.
Jimmy's Poorhouse.
Yep. That was our first date, and that was the most fun I had ever had with a stranger, is what I had said to you. Okay. And then you were like, what is the point of this podcast?
No, I did not say that.
Basically.
I'm just wondering what we, because it's always been so easy with you, like especially the interpersonal communication. Mm-hmm. And that was, it was from the very beginning. I felt comfortable. I felt you were funny. You were, what's the word?
Gorgeous.
That's
lovable.
You don't go like personality, then looks right away. You got to give a couple. You know what I mean? So it seems like I'm
care more about the personality than the looks. Got it.
So you're just very easy to talk to, and you're hot, and
okay. Now you're 1-to-1.
I went.
Okay, you're right.
Yes, I'm 2-to-1.
Okay.
So no, it just went really well, and I was like, "Yep, I want to go on another date with her."
Except our relationship did not begin that way, or did not begin with just like it wasn't just like all green lights the whole time. I think at this point I had kind of already pre-dabbled in starting my furniture business, and I was working for a flower shop in town. The kids and I had gone at the end of the school year. They had done a little, like, the kids, Jacob would have been 7, so this would have been the end of first grade, and Erica was 4.
We need to protect his identity. It's Jacob with a C.
Yeah, yes.
It's Jacob with a C, not with a K.
Yeah, if that really is his true name.
Yes.
He had just left first grade, and I was reading a little flyer or whatever that they had filled out, like, what they want to do over the summer vacation. Did I tell you this story?
Yep, just now.
Okay. Would you like me to continue?
Sure.
Now that you've had the 30-second preview, would you like to continue? Do you want to check this book out from the library?
Yeah, that one's good.
Got it. Okay. I'll continue. So it said on this little piece of paper, like, what he wanted to do for the summer, and he said, go to Florida. And I remember reading that, and I was like, who is taking you to Florida? That's what you want to do? And, like, I sat for a second, because I had been in a previous relationship that was abusive and just, like, didn't feel like I had any level of control over anything. And so I was still in, like, the hangover period of living like I didn't have any autonomy and didn't have any control. And I'd read that, and I was like, who's taking this little MFer to Florida? And then I looked, and I was like, wait a second. I'm the adult in the room. I can take him to Florida. Florida in July is not a nice place. So I decided nobody's taking him to Florida, but I could take him to Seattle. I planned a road trip. And so we had started
going to Seattle.
Yeah, we had started talking right before Seattle. The job that I was working at the time, she had told me, she kept telling me, if I let you go on vacation, if we let you go, if we can give you the
we
time
don't
off.
like that.
No, because ain't nobody telling old
Don't
Ash
talk
what
to me
to
like
do.
that. Gosh, dang
I'm
it.
a grown woman.
Yeah.
I do what I want.
I don't like Florida though. Right now.
No, so I'm.
This time of year.
I know I said Florida, so instead I'm going somewhere else.
Get her.
So I did. I got her. I was like, I'm going anyhow. And that was why we ended up going to Seattle. So then I was texting you. We had gone on our first date, and we were kind of texting when the kids and I and Lacey were road tripping out to Seattle. Those are some road trip buddies, let me tell you. My kids, Jacob and Erica, are like, they're little road dogs. They'll go anywhere. Lacey, she's stuck in my craw a little bit. But we all managed, and we made it back. But I remember just, like, missing the hell out of you. And I was, stop it. This is
Very one-sided podcast here.
I'm the host.
I'm kidding.
I do what I want.
Kidding.
Next time I have a story that I want to ask you, you can monologue.
All
but
right.
anyhow, the whole point of this is about you. Because I miss
See,
you a lot.
Got it.
There.
See, but that's the thing, too. And that's the reason I asked, like, what do you get into? Because the period of my life at that time, I don't, like, remember timelines well.
Sure.
You know? So I don't remember. I mean, that was 14 years ago. I just don't remember how things line up. I remember our first date, and then I remember what after that. I guess I remember me not wanting a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Well,
remember that.
So that was what I was getting into, was when I had come back from Seattle with the kids, and we had still kind of been like texting and hanging out and whatever, and we were texting a lot, and we were spending a lot of time together, and we were just like really getting to know each other, and like you were very like, I don't want a relationship, and I was like, okay, and I was like, but also like, why not? Like, this feels so comfortable, and this feels so natural, and this feels so like
Can
fun.
I share why not?
Why?
At the time, and that's why too, why I asked about what you get into, because with me, you get a lot of my life. So my sobriety is big. My mental health has been a big thing, and so like everything. I don't know how serious do you
some people get really serious, and some people keep it fluff. So you can, you are free to say whatever you want to say.
Well, I am a fluffy guy, but I don't keep it fluffy. You know what I mean? Because at the time, so I was sober. How long would I have been sober?
It was a couple of years.
A couple of years. What year would this have been? Like when I was.
Let's see. Jacob was 7. He was born. So 2013.
2013. So I was about 3 years sober. Yes. And so I was also addicted to the gym. I got a lot of my validation from women. And when I had that mindset at the time, I didn't want to, like, I wanted as much of it from as many as I could get. I also wasn't interested in being like, oh yeah, let's be together, and then screwing you over and screwing around with other, you know what I'm saying? I needed validation from women, and so that's why I didn't want to be with one woman.
I didn't know at that point that you had even really like been able to articulate that. That has to have come from.
Oh no, I couldn't have pinpointed that then. But looking back, that's definitely what it was. I was just like, and then I remember you telling me that you couldn't just be friends.
There were phases to this, because at first I had said to you, you had said, we were spending a lot of time together and planning dates and like doing stuff and hanging out. And I was like, okay, if we're not going to do that, because I also wasn't looking for a relationship. But when I met you, it was like,
oh, got it.
Thank you. Allow me to finish before you make your face out loud at me.
Okay. They do say I have a face for radio.
That's the second time this has come up in 2 episodes.
A face for radio?
The last 2 people were radio people. And you could tell, am I right? Just kidding. We're the only people in the room. They were very nice people.
See, that's what I deal with on a daily basis.
Oh, and you can have people write in all the advice on how to help you deal with such a terrible woman. What I was about to say before we were so tragically interrupted by your face out loud was the thing that happened. I was not also looking for a relationship, but when I met you, I was like, why would I not want to pursue a relationship with this man? And also, like, because everything was so comfortable and it was so natural and it felt so easy. It was like the jokes, we have the same sense of humor and we have the same, like, it was just the same. I felt like I met myself. And I think that was, I mean, maybe a lot of why we didn't work the first time when we, in preseason was because we exacerbated the worst parts of each other.
I disagree.
Well, you're welcome to. Let me finish my thought. But yeah, I met you and I was like, it feels so easy and it feels so comfortable and I want to date this person. And I felt at the time, this is the love of my life. Like, this is the rest of my life. Like, before we had really gotten to that point, I was like, this is something here. And there was a lot of this like energy between us that was like, this is something. And then you were like, I don't want this. And I was like, okay. So then we were just hanging out.
See, and even saying I don't want this. It's not that I didn't want it. I wanted to have my cake and eat it too. I wanted to be with you, but I also wanted validation from other
which is
women.
exactly why I had to tell you. I was like, if we're not going to do this, you can't just like come over to my apartment and hang out with me. Like, we can't just like sit and watch a movie with the understanding that like, ooh, no under the clothes stuff or whatever. Like, we're just going to like be friends. Like, I don't want to be your friend. And so we had done that for a couple of nights, and it was like, we were texting all day and you'd come over at night and then we would just hang out and be around each other. We were like magnets. Like, it was like we'd be around each other and then you would leave and then we'd start texting again the next day. And then like you'd plan on coming over at night and whatever after you'd like do the gym and do whatever else. And then it was like, so after a couple of days of that where it was just like, I can't keep doing this with you. So I said to you, like, if we're not going to do that, I can't, like, you can't be coming over like this. And you, okay. So then you didn't. But then we were still like texting you were the first person that would text me in the morning and the last person that I would text at night. And then it was just like that. And we did that for a few days or like whatever, however long it was. And then even that, I was like, okay, like, you told me that you didn't want this. And I know that I'm tumbling into, like, I'm falling into this like sinkhole of love with this man. And like, I can't keep doing this.
It's a lovely way to describe it.
Sinkhole of Love would be a great band name.
That's so cute.
Yeah. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. I'm a sinkhole of love. Okay. Well, we'll keep workshopping that off the pod. But yeah, I was just like, I can't keep doing this. And so I did have to tell you, I was like, we can't keep texting like this either. And then you were like, does that mean that we like can't text at all or whatever? And I was like, yeah, I kind of think so. And so for like 2 weeks, I was just like, didn't communicate with you. We didn't communicate with each other. And it was just like, we're done. Except I was getting into the early stages of doing upholstery at this time. And I knew the gym that you went to. And it was also a route for me to get home. And so I would just kind of drive that route to just like, maybe I'd see you. Maybe you'd see my car and be like, ah, there goes the love of my life. I should... Whatever.
It's normal stuff. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We can make jokes.
No,
hey,
we cannot.
Besides, speaking of upholstery, do you know who upholstered this?
I do. She's
this
okay.
over at GTE.
GTE, yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. Do you notice the way the lines, everything all lines
really
up,
good.
and yeah.
You're very talented, my dear.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk vodka. Not the boring, flavorless kind you panic buy before a party, but something with actual personality. Norman's Shuck Vodka from Garden State Distillery. This stuff is distilled in small batches in Toms River, New Jersey, and it's infused with oysters, seaweed, and sea salt. Basically, the Jersey Shore in a glass, minus the spray tans. They call it a dirty martini in a bottle, and they're not wrong. It's got this subtle, salty brine, a little ocean breeze vibe, and a smooth finish with just a hint of pepper. Honestly, it makes your Bloody Marys, oyster shooters, and even your basic vodka sodas taste like you know what you're doing. Oh, and seafood? Forget it. This vodka was born to sit next to a platter of oysters. And because I negotiated like the feisty podcast host I am, you get 15% off anything from Garden State Distillery. Yep. The highest discount out there, exclusively for my listeners. Just use code LOVESTORY at gardenstatedistillery.com. You're welcome. Let's be honest. Most cookies out there are either too basic or too bougie, but Molly B's somehow nailed the balance. Bold, fun, and unforgettable cookies that actually taste as good as they sound. We're talking flavors like Be Cordial with chocolate and cherry chunks, Big Joe with fresh ground coffee and a hint of rum, Boba Doodles with snickerdoodle and boba pearls, and everybody's favorite train wreck, the hot mess, with mango, white chocolate, and crushed hot Cheetos on top. I know, it sounds unhinged, but trust me, one bite and you'll be hooked. Molly's a single mom from Alaska who turned her kitchen experiments into a full-blown national sensation. Featured on Food Network, Martha Stewart Living, and even at the Grammy Awards. These cookies are indulgent, surprising, and absolutely addictive. And because I've got the hookup, you get 10% off your order. Yes, the highest discount they offer when you use my code LOVESTORY at mollybees.com. Stock up for gifts, hoard them for yourself, or both. No judgment here.
So yeah, it was like 2 weeks of just like being around each other, like not being around each other, but wanting to be around you, wanting you to notice me, wanting you to remember me, whatever. And I was starting to get back into the rhythm of just like, whatever, I'm just living my life and it didn't work out. And, you know, maybe someday I'll be like, oh, what happened to that guy or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was working, this was in the early days of the business where I didn't know if I was going to do all furniture and refinishing or if it was just going to be furniture. And I think at one point I was sanding a table in my apartment and everything was covered in dust, sawdust. And this is what I was working on. I was like, I remember thinking like, how do people sand indoors without it getting covered in everything? And it was like, the answer is they don't sand
they don't.
anything.
They do not do that.
In their apartment.
They hook up a really big vacuum cleaner. And
Yeah, no. And you called me while I was sanding that table. And I had deleted you from my phone, but I know your number. I knew your number by heart. And when I saw you calling, I was like, huh. And I answered. And do you want to pick up the story from there? What prompted you to call me on that fateful day?
just thinking about you, and
You were down by the river.
Really?
Yeah, you'd said you had taken, didn't you?
I remember. No, that's right. Yeah, when you were talking about it, I was recalling being outside of my dad's house when you had told me that you can't keep doing that. And
What were your thoughts while all of that was going on? When I was like, hold on, homie.
well, I'm not gonna. You mean, what are my thoughts? I'm not gonna.
Well, yeah. What were you? What
I'm
was?
not gonna.
You were like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, that was my thoughts. I get it, so I said it. Sometimes when I think stuff, I say it. You know what I mean?
You're so good at using your brain sometimes.
Thank you.
You were down on Riverside. You were walking by the river or something. Because I think, did you go there with your mom or something? I remember you telling me that there, maybe, okay.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm pulling on not a loose thread, but I know for sure you were down by Riverside Drive because you had said something like that was a place that you had gone or something. You went there to think or something.
Riverside here in St. Cloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to sit on the chair or on the bench swing. I didn't want to not see you. I didn't want to not be around you, and that's what that was about.
Yeah. So you called me and you were like, did we start dating after that?
I think so.
I think we did. Or maybe it was like, maybe I played a little hard to get and I was like, you got to come woo me. Wow. I'm a tough egg to crack, Jess.
On. Not for me.
Yeah, you're right.
Not for me.
You're right. So, okay, you were like, be my girlfriend. And I was like, yesterday?
Be my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. And then we kind of dated for a little bit, and you had met the kids then, and the kids adored you.
the first time Erica, we were watching a movie or something, and Mom, who's here?
Oh, and she...
My friend Jesse. Can I see him?
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, she was so cute.
Yeah. And that was before we had started dating. And then when we started dating, and you officially met the kids, and... Oh, God. Jacob loved you right away.
Yeah,
you were two peas in a pod.
Yeah. I remember sword fighting in the parking lots.
Yep. At the old apartment. Our relationship history lives on the side of the hill in Sartell. That whole, those whole apartments that all look the same.
Hillside.
I was living in Oak Hill Estates. Yep. I was living in that one in the basement where I started doing upholstery. And you were out living in Albany with your dad. Mm-hmm. And we had started dating, and then you'd met the kids and whatever, and then soon-ish, you moved into my apartment, and we lived there through the duration of my lease, and then we moved from there over to Middletown Apartments.
And how was that part of our relationship?
When we were doing upholstery, when I was doing upholstery in the apartment.
No, I mean, I'm saying for the duration of your lease.
Fine. I re-upped at a new location, so it was fine-ish.
Fine-ish?
The relationship was fine. The apartment.
God,
Could have done better.
I don't remember much until we moved to the one by the old cop shop in Sartell.
Yeah, Middletown.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Because I don't think there was a ton of time that we had spent together at the Oak Hill Estates one, because my lease was going to be ending anyway, and so you'd kind of moved in there. It was a very small apartment to also be running a chair operation out of. Mm-hmm. So, which, like, when I talk about it now, where it was like I was working on furniture in the apartment. I was sanding. I was in the basement level apartment pushing chairs out the window and running. I had then since learned that you don't sawdust inside. You don't sand things inside.
You don't sawdust inside?
You don't get sawdust inside. You
that.
sand outside. So I ran an extension cord out the window, and I would sand my furniture out there, and then I would schlep it back inside.
That's a good idea.
Turns out they're onto something. You don't want to breathe that stuff.
Yeah.
So it kills brain cells and gums up your lungs. So we did that, and then had furniture everywhere and whatever, and then we moved the furniture operations over to the Middletown apartments in Sartell when we moved in together officially.
Yeah.
And we had a whole little, we were on the second floor, and we had a pulley system that we would throw a bungee cable over the side of the balcony and pull up groceries. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't last very long, though.
I remember it lasting a lot longer than.
See, and I don't
know. Maybe
my
it did.
My brain was scattered at that time.
In chaos. And
it was, and that's because my anxiety. So anxiety.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's because it's a huge part of why there is a preseason, and why we haven't been together this entire time. Mm-hmm. When I was drinking, my anxieties would go away with the alcohol. Mm-hmm. So I was using it as a medication, but I had no idea. I didn't know it at the time, but that's what I was doing. And then when I got sober, my medication was gone, and like it took a good year for the anxiety to start and panic attacks to be like an issue. They carried on for many, many years. When we were at, it's Middletown?
I think so. Midtown, Middletown.
I think it is Middletown. When we were at Middletown, like they got so bad. Mm-hmm. And I was working in Avon at the time. It's taken me like 45 minutes to get to work. Because
a lot of your anxiety would present in driving.
Yes. I mean, we could shorten up the whole podcast, because that's why it didn't work out the first round.
But that's not fair to you, because there was a lot of just stuff in general, you know?
I don't know.
I was not a nice.
I think we were pretty solid outside of the fact that I was debilitated by this.
Well, and because of that, I wasn't nice to you. Like. Yeah,
that's true. You are a.
What?
Just kidding. That's when it started. That's when the anxieties really started to be an issue, and that's when I was just incapable of giving you what you needed.
Yeah.
And
there was a lot of times that I remember just being lonely. Like I was just lonely. In our relationship, I was lonely. And like you had started, not in Middletown, but because we broke up, we were together for about 3.5 years, and halfway through, you were not doing, so in the little bit of time that we were together, in the 3.5 years that we were together, there was a point in time where we had broken up halfway when we were living at the Middletown apartments together. And it was a lot of.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was a lot of loneliness, and it was a lot of just going to bed alone, and you'd stay up and just your mind would be racing or whatever was happening, and you would do your own thing. And I felt so lonely in our relationship. And that Christmas, I think it was 6 months before we'd broken up, because we'd broken up in the summer, and you had gone to the crisis center, right? The day before Christmas Eve.
Ooh, I remember that.
Yeah.
You remember what you said to me?
I wish I could take a vacation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holy was it not a vacation?
And that's the thing is I had no experience with anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was at work. You had the day off, because it was Christmas Eve.
Man.
It was Christmas Eve. And I had to be at Coburn's until 5 o'clock was when we would close down. Mm-hmm. I remember being there, and it was mid to late afternoon, and you had the day off because it was Christmas Eve, and the kids were probably at their dad's, and so you would have been at the apartment by yourself. And I was working, and I was only working until 5. We had plans the next day. It was Christmas the next day, and I'm telling this story as if it's my perspective, and then you can tell it from your perspective. But this was I was at work, and I was the manager of the flower shop at the time, and I was just humming along, running business, and taking care of stuff, and then you'd call me at work, and you were just like not in a good way or whatever. And I was like, okay, just like, because as someone who has the benefit of not having had to deal with any kind of mental health stuff, I was just like, okay, just like wait until I get home. I'm home at 5:00, you know, whatever. And like, then I think you had called me a couple of times, just like panicking and not in a good place. And it was like, I didn't understand, because I was like, just don't do the thing. I don't know what to say, you know? And then you had called me. I think I went home and you were gone when I closed up.
I should do a podcast on that.
You're in the room with the right person.
It was just, it's like your brain turns on itself, and then you try to get your, I don't know. It's just crazy, because like now I look at it and I like don't understand how I got to that point. But I guess it's just like with sobriety, I don't know how I got to the point of going to jail every other weekend, all from drinking. Just,
do you remember when we went to go see, I think it was Straight Outta Compton, and they wouldn't let us in because we didn't have our IDs? And
and then I had to pull up a mugshot to get in.
To prove that you were.
Yeah, and it was all for like minor consumptions, and I got one disorderly conduct. I never had anything.
Yeah,
whatever.
That was a tough day, because I remember being like, I was pretty self-important at that time, being the manager of a, you know, grocery store floral in central Minnesota, and I was like, I'm over here doing big things, man, you know, and like, pull yourself together. Okay, like, stop thinking those crazy things then. Like, do you need me to leave? Like, I can't leave. I'm the floral manager of a mid-level grocery store in central Minnesota. Mm-hmm. You know, who's going to carry the torch on till 5:00 if not me? I don't know that if anything would have happened differently, you know, who knows? If everything that happened put us to where we are, fine.
You know, when you said just before, rewind the tape, you said that I can't put that all on me or whatever, something to that effect.
I said, to be fair to you.
To be fair to me, yeah. But the thing is, that was such a extremely difficult part in my time in my life that like I don't put it all on me as in like, you know, I was a piece of shit or something. I put it on me because of things like that. Like, this is not a everyday reaction that people have to just being. And I was waking up every day with just these anxieties and panic attacks, and I had no, like, even now that I'm thinking about it, it gets me like, I can feel it, you know, like physical.
Like you can feel it, like it's triggering, or you can feel it?
No, not in like a triggering way, but like I remember how trapped I felt, how I couldn't function, because I would sit awake for like 2 hours doing guided meditations, trying to calm my body and trying to calm my mind. And so when I say that we can shorten this up because it was my anxiety, I do wholeheartedly believe that 80% of why we didn't work out was my anxiety. But I don't mean that in like a self-deprecating way. It's just the reality of the situation. You didn't know how to deal with it. Like, the anxiety itself wasn't the issue. It was, I would come home by the end of the day and be mentally exhausted from that. And you can't really describe it to somebody who hasn't experienced it. Mm-hmm. You know, this dissociative feelings, the racing thoughts, clammy, sweaty palms, you know, and since then I've come to understand more about what it is and what I've come to understand. So my brain, in certain situations, a person's brain will react to the fight, flight, freeze response will happen in a situation that doesn't require that. Mm-hmm. And so that is kind of how I operated at the time. Mm-hmm. I would wake up and be in fight, flight, or freeze mode. Mm-hmm. And that's just, I didn't even hear the word anxiety until I was probably 2 years sober. Mm-hmm. You know, I grew up and I was like a kid with unending energy, just copious amounts of energy and bouncing off the walls. And it was ADHD. It was eventually turned into depression and things like that. But that was never it. Mm-hmm. That was never it. And nobody ever put the term anxiety to it until I was like, I cannot function. Mm-hmm. You know, so you have sort of the ability to look back on that relationship from a more clear.
Yeah, because my brain wasn't.
And I don't. I just don't. I felt like I was going nuts.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like I was crazy. That was the catalyst for the end of that
Decline.
relationship. You know, because It's not that I didn't want to. It's not that I didn't love you. It's not that I didn't care about you. I just didn't have it in me to emotionally give.
Yeah.
That really needs to be a part of the story, because it's a huge part of my story. And it was never you. It was you were never. I'm hold on. Hold on. Before you get all like, see, told you. I don't mean it was never you as in you didn't play a role in the breakup. It was never you. It was never that I didn't love you. It was never that I didn't care about you. It was never that I didn't want to give you what you needed. Mm-hmm. I physically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I could not give you what you needed.
And the more that we got into the place of once you're thirsty, the thirstier you get, you know? Yeah. And that was very, like, I think that was a lot of, you were in that place of, like, going to the crisis center, and then it was, like, 6 months beyond that of just, like, you coming back and trying to, like, be a part of the relationship.
Shout out to the crisis center, though.
Yeah.
It's a really cool place.
You know,
I mean,
we hope we don't have to go there.
It's not real cool to be
in crisis,
but it's like they help people out and they do what they can for people, and I think I
resented it quite a bit.
It's a pretty cool service, you know.
It is.
Well, that's good that you resent it. No,
well, I had
there's happy parts to the story too.
Well, there are, but that's the thing is, like, if we're talking about the demise of it, you know, and like why there was a preseason. Yeah. So then shortly after, within like 6-8 months of the crisis center, I moved out. I found another apartment, which would have been the next apartment down from the one that I started in. So I started at Oak Hill, and then I moved one apartment down to Hillside, moved in there. And I remember packing up my stuff. You were staying at the other apartment, the Middletown apartment. And I remember that was where I got really good at boundaries in that relationship, because at one point you had called me. I was coming over to get my stuff, and you'd called me to want to come over, and but this doesn't need to be a just like, you know, just jump down Jesse's throat part of the podcast, but it was very like, it was hard to go over there and get my stuff. It was hard to leave you. It was so hard to leave you, and it was hard to go over and get my stuff, and it was hard to, like, you know, to sit and want to watch a movie the way, you know, or watch TV or something the way that we always would, and we would sit there, and I remember sitting there, and we were kind of sitting on the couch in the apartment that had like a third of the stuff that it used to have in it. You were just kind of being, I don't remember exactly what was happening, but I remember being kind of just like okay, like, all right, you had wanted me over there, but then it was like a weird conversation, or things got tense or whatever. And so I said, okay, I'm leaving, in a way that only needing to protect myself have I ever done before. And so I said, okay, I'm leaving. And I left, and you called me and you were like, will you come back? I used something like, I'm sorry, will you come back, or something. And I didn't. And that felt like a big like thing for me to just like, I was learning how to try to steel myself to you, because I felt like I was on the crazy roller coaster for a lot of the time in that relationship. I felt like it was like the high highs and the low lows. And then you would, like, when you loved me so fiercely, and you were so much fun for me to be around, and you were such a safe place. And then when you would go cold, it was like ice. I felt like I don't know what to do, you know? It was really hard. So I had to leave. And then I moved into that apartment. We had tried doing couples counseling together too at one point. Maybe this was after we'd moved back in together, because I moved into the apartment, the Hillside apartment, and then you moved in with me. After the lease was up over at the other place, you moved in. Mm-hmm. And we tried it again. And we did it again for another like year and a half. We were together for a couple of years, and then we broke up for, I don't remember how long. And then you moved back in, and we were together for another year and a half. We just couldn't figure it out. It's not even. Well, whatever.
It's not even.
Details.
But details. But it's important, because it's like when you don't have the fundamental, it's like trying to build a castle on a swamp. You just can't do it. And I didn't have the emotional and mental ability to build that castle, to build a life with you and with anyone.
Yeah.
I could barely even, you know. But anyways, I mean, naturally, no, we couldn't figure it out. But it wasn't something where we were incompatible, or we didn't have the you know, I mean, we had similar tastes in music. Our sense of humor has always been the same. You and I in a room with 1,000 people, it's the same as if we're in the room alone. Our banter back and forth, and the way I probably shouldn't say that.
What? Say it. Abby will edit it out if it's bad.
No, I was just going to say the way you cut me down and the way the Stockholm syndrome. And,
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just
the
kidding.
feeling like you can't leave.
That's why I didn't say it, because it was a joke, but it wasn't a very good joke. But no, like,
I remember when I first met your dad. I really do think it was one of the first few times that we went out to your dad's and I met him. I love your dad so much. And just, I think this was the patronizing conversation. And what's the difference between patronizing? If I want to patronize your services or if I want to patronize your services, how do you know if I'm trying to, buy from you or if I'm going to cut you down?
Pronunciations are interchangeable.
Yes, pronunciations are interchangeable. The words are interchangeable. Patronize works both ways, and patronize works both ways. If I'm going to be a patron at your store, but you wouldn't say I'm going to be a patron at your store.
But you could.
But you could if you wanted to, depending on your dialect. Yeah. And your dad was just dry and right along
Convinced.
with it.
he knew, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I love your dad. And I think that was what I loved about going out to your dad's all the time. And there was one time that we were going on our way out to your dad's. The number of times that we would fight on our way out to Albany, it was a long way to go, and a short time to get there. So buckle up.
Sounds like a recipe for absolute garbage. Like, what are you doing?
We were going out to Albany.
You would fight?
We would fight. But I remember the one time we would fight, and then, when we would fight on our way out to Albany, only in the rare...
There was fun
There was...
too.
Hold on. Yes.
We had some good stuff.
We had so many great times. We had a lot of great inside jokes and whatever, but there was the one time that we were fighting on the way out to Albany, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and let your dad be the bridge... Because I love your dad and I love hanging out with your dad. And it's just he's just my buddy, or maybe I'm his buddy. I don't know. Or maybe I'm a fly. I know. I'm the annoying fly that's like, Mark. Yeah, can we watch NASCAR? Mark. What are the Vikings doing today? Yeah. Mark, come hang out with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to let your dad, pull me back into, not that he did it, but it was I'm not going to be wooed by your dad into this being a decent relationship at the time,
weird.
And so I got out of the car, we pulled into your dad's driveway, and I got out.
But you had some too.
Hey.
You were stubborn as a mule.
No.
And yes, you still are.
No, I'm not.
Not as much.
Thank
as much.
you.
I'll
Thank
give you that. But you were. There was times when you would not accept,
Don't tell the story because it's so stupid and it's not even that big of a story. The one with the detailing and the bucket and the
Oh,
no.
that was a good one.
No, it was. It's not
that
as good
was
as you
a good
think
one.
it is.
We need to. Yes.
It's not as good as
because
you
it
think
was
is.
So we were at a friend of mine's.
What friend? I don't remember.
Jim.
Bob. Jim.
I used to work with him at Granite City Tire and Auto. There was a bucket in the driveway. You were backing up the G6 because his stepson was going to detail your car, and your car was a complete disaster from running.
You are embellishing.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you tell the truth then? Was your car not?
It needed to be
It
detailed.
looked like a Dalmatian.
Who among us has a car
the
that...
The back seat looked like a Dalmatian from water stains.
I have
like
a floral
spots.
business.
So am I embellishing?
It is. You are embellishing. You are making me sound like a trash.
No, honey. It was just your car that was a
babe.
trash heap. There was water spots everywhere. It was pretty bad. Anyways,
this is the point of the story that is not even a...
So you were backing up the car.
Apparently this had a big impact on you that I did not realize, this story.
I don't know that it had that big of an impact.
Well, you continue to bring it up over and over again.
You brought it up.
Only because I was going to say...
To be fair to me.
I was saying don't tell the story, and you were like, I have to tell the story.
I wasn't even thinking about the story.
I thought you were.
And then you brought it up.
Let's rewind the tape and start over.
Okay. Love you. So am I still telling the story?
Whatever. You were like, back up the car and get it detailed,
Yes.
and there was a bucket in the way, and you were like, stop, there's a bucket in the way, and I was like, I know.
She's telling the story.
Yeah.
So there's a bucket in the driveway.
And I said, I know. And then I backed up like a...
You said, I know. You're embellishing. You are embellishing. Good thing I have a big, strong man to tell me there's a bucket. And I'm like, I was just saying that there's a bucket there, you know? And then that was when...
That was when you knew.
Knew what?
I love this woman. What were you going to say?
No, that was the whole Rosie Riveter thing. I used to like have a problem with you wanting to be no, sounds really toxic.
You didn't like that I didn't want to need you. It was I didn't like that I didn't want You didn't like that I didn't want to need you.
That's not true.
Oh.
That's what you've always thought, but that's not true at all. It's never been true. I've always loved your independence, but you have always made it so hard to give, just give and help.
Well, I was a broken little girl.
I get it.
Yeah.
I do get it. And you deserve everything that you've worked for, but you have made it very difficult to you. Recently, I've been just blown away at how receptive you've been to me helping.
Soft girl era, baby.
Soft girl era. And that was like, I never didn't like that about you, but you thought I was like, and this is what it felt like. You thought I was the enemy because I was a man trying to help.
I think because if we're talking about the little, sad little Ashley, that I never wanted to do anything on my own and have to do it by myself. Nobody was there to help me. So I was bitter and I had a chip on my shoulder for having to I had to take care of myself and I had to take care of my sisters and I had to take care of my mom. My first ever job.
And you never should have had to.
Well, thank you. And the reality of it was that I did. She'd come in and ask me my paycheck from my first job, working $5.25 an hour and, working maybe 15 hours every 2 weeks. And I get a paycheck of $200 and she'd come in and ask to borrow it, to do meth, which was like a real bummer, that I didn't know about. So
mothers are something.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that, and then growing up without a dad, it was just a lot of me being angry at the world and not knowing what I was angry about. So truly, the fact that we are able to be sitting here right now in a relationship together, happy, and actually not only do I love you, but I actually like you, and that you actually like me. When you talk about the fact that you had all of your alcoholism and anxiety problems and all of the trauma that you've experienced and the things that you've had to get right with yourself and the things that I've had to get right with myself, and had to really embrace little Ashley and be understanding of why I have done the stupid things that I've done and why I've been the person that I was. The fact that we've gone through and done the personal work to sit here and to be able to have this conversation honestly is pretty impressive.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of the having to work on my own stuff and be okay with my own stuff, and you had to work on your own stuff, and ultimately still it didn't work out at the time. We broke up.
Sure did.
Yeah, and and not only we broke up, when we broke up again, we broke up in a way. I was still working my floral management job at a mid-level grocery store in central Minnesota, and also doing a furniture business on the side. I'd sold a bunch of stuff on Etsy and sold a bunch of stuff across the country, and I was in the middle of it was the beginning stage of building my business. Yeah, and then we broke up. And then I had to be angry at you.
We're gonna get to a happy part anytime soon? Jeez.
It gets happy today. Well, it was heavy.
Holy schmolies.
Holy schmol. Oh. Holy schmollies, who upholstered these chairs?
Podcast producer Abby checking in here, letting you know that we have reached the end of part 1 of Ashley and Jesse's love story. Don't worry, there's still a lot more to get into. Part 2 of their love story comes out next week, and we're rounding out the year with part 3 of their love story. So there's still a lot of Ashley and Jesse to go around. So be sure that you subscribe to the show and stay tuned for part 2 coming out next week.
You know how some vodkas taste like regret in a bottle? Yeah, this isn't that. Norman's Shuck Vodka from Garden State Distillery is basically a dirty martini already bottled up for you, infused with oysters, seaweed, and sea salt. My listeners get 15% off, so go grab a bottle, shake up your cocktail game, and thank me later. Use my code LOVESTORY at gardenstatedistillery.com. Cookies shouldn't be boring, and Molly B's clearly got that memo. These are bold, gourmet, artisan-crafted cookies like hot Cheetos in a cookie bowl. My listeners get 10% off the entire site at mollybees.com with code LOVESTORY. Go ahead, treat yourself. Your taste buds will thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Love Story Podcast. You can subscribe to the show and you can follow us at the Love Story Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Do you think you have a love story for the ages? Do you think you have a love story that's like a meet cute? Or maybe you just have a regular old love story, but you guys have been together for so long that you don't even remember how you met? We would love to have you on the Love Story Podcast to tell your story. Every love story is unique. Every love story is special. And whether you think you've got a cool story, a funny story, or just a heartwarming story, or just a story of the everyday, regular old love, that's the kind of stuff we want to hear. Reach out at info@lovestoryweddingshow.com and we will schedule a time to get you featured on the Love Couch. If you're not local, we have the capabilities of doing it digitally as well. So don't forget to reach out, info@lovestoryweddingshow.com, or head to the show notes.